Hi, everyone, and welcome to this dedicated session on a quiz. I see a few people here logging in, so that's always exciting. Please feel free to use the chat to say hello. It's always nice to hear that we are a bunch of people. Always interesting to hear where you're sitting. So yeah, if you want, please just write in the chat tab. This is a quite new format for us, so we're testing it out, and this is one webinar out of many to come. So yeah, here you go. My colleague Maria is saying hi from Barcelona. So yeah, please feel free to use the chat during this session. We only have 30 minutes, so it's going to be a packed hour. And here we have the Adrian from Netherlands. Hello, always a pleasure. But yeah, we will use this session to really dig into one specific node. Today, it's all about quiz, and more of these hands-on sessions will come down the road as well. I see you have found a chat, which is always good. I'll go ahead and share my slides so we can start there. Hi, Annika. Annika from Sweden. That's always nice. Okay, I'll go ahead and share my slides. Okay, again, hi everyone, and welcome. So this is, as I said, a dedicated session on one of our newest nodes, the quiz. And as I said, this is one webinar out of many to come, where we will dig into a specific node or a feature in VR and really show how to work with that node type. And we will also save time for a Q&A at the end. So in this session, I will first of all dig into a few tips and tricks to what to think of when you are creating a quiz, and then dig into VR, showing you how to create it. And I will also save time at the end for some questions. But during my presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat and I will answer as we go along. A few housekeeping is that we will have this live chats, but we also will do a recording. So you can always find recordings of our webinars in the community after this is done. And as I mentioned, I will try to cover most of the questions, if you have any, by the end of this end of the presentation. Okay, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Stine. I am head of customer success here at We Are Learning, and I am also an instructional designer. So I used most of my working time creating e-learning, creating content over the years. So I see it as a strength that I can help you, guide you on how to work with digital learning. And as I said, today is all about quiz. I'm excited to show you more, and I will very soon log on to VR and show you a few examples. But before that, let's just cover a few tips and tricks on what you should think of when you are creating a quiz. So yesterday I was thinking, okay, what kind of tips would I give for someone that's creating a quiz? And I know many of you have tons of experience creating quizzes. It's very common for e-learning, but one thing I first came to my mind is that it's important that we make the answers plausible. So we need to work on our answers and make them what can I say, difficult and not so easy to understand patterns. And learners often noticing these kind of patterns. Okay, it's mostly answer option B, or it's some kind of patterns they're looking for to answer that question as fast as possible to be able to move on in the course. Hi, Elizabeth, nice. So now I would like to show you an example. I'm only going to give you a few seconds to look at it. And now I want you to tell me which option here do you think is the correct answer. So is it A, was it B, was it C? Please use the chat if you want to. But I can, and I've done this myself many times as well, that in many cases, the longest answer is what is the right one. And it's so easy and very common to do. So I think have that in mind when you are creating quiz, that work on those answers that are not correct too, and make them long. Yes, C was the right answer. Was the right option here. So my point here was that work on the examples or the answers, make them difficult, make it not so obvious which ones are wrong and which ones are right. Here is another example too. So this is in regards to hospital. Okay, what here it's much more difficult to see the right answers. You really need to read, you need to reflect, and you need to make the right decision. This question might be a bit too long, but then again, I like to show that you to elaborate on the wrong ones is just as important, to kind of make the learners reflect and say, okay, maybe this isn't the prior one, it's important, but is it the most important thing, for example, in this situation, for example? Okay, and then I have number 2, and that is to be clear on what you are testing, to kind of understand what kind of knowledge are you asking for in this quiz? What do you want them to reflect on? So I highly recommend avoiding using or um, make them rely on guessing acronyms, minor wording differences, or very identical answer choices, because then again, what are you really testing? It feels sometimes that you are tricking, making them, okay, what's they might see that or use more time focusing on what's wrong or what's off in the different options, and actually reflecting on what does it mean for me, what does it mean for my organization. So I definitely think like questions like these. Okay, what does GDPR stands for? I see this also. I've seen this multiple times, and I'm pretty sure I've done courses on this before. But is it that relevant to know what GDPR stands for? It might be, but then again, it's even more important to think, okay, what does handling personal data means for me and my organization? What happens if something goes wrong? So this might be, is it good enough to have a quiz on it or have a question on it? I think it's worth asking yourself that question when you write these different questions, that you kind of reflect on, okay, why am I asking this, and should I do it? Should it just be a text instead, and then have other type of questions? Here is another example too. Here is a matter of just finding or looking through the different answers. Okay, what does SBR AR means? What does it stand for? And you really need to, like, the options are so similar that it's more guessing and than anything else. And then we have option number 3, and that is to make failure a part of the learning design. And I think failing is so powerful and impactful, and giving the learners the possibility to fail and learn from it is definitely something we need to value when we create courses. So here's another example. So if you get something wrong, you do have now a wonderful chance to really evaluate or self-evaluate. Okay, what did go wrong, and what should I done in another way? And I think you're more tuned in when you get something wrong. You say, okay, I didn't get it wrong, or I got it wrong. What happened? What did I do that wasn't right? So here you have a chance to really give more information to the learners. I think this is where VR is superb for, that you can branch out based on their passing score. So that if they didn't get it right, you can branch onto a specific to another branch, and you can get more information, or you can make them answer another quiz or provide them more information, so they are more equipped to answering the quiz one more time. So I think super fast, but I think it's valuable when to take in when you are starting to create some quizzes yourselves. Okay, I think now I would just like to jump into VR. So I'll share my other screen here. Let me see. Okay, good. Now you see we are great. Okay, so let's use a couple of minutes to show you how you create a quiz yourself. I created a few examples, but let's just start off here.
There are so many ways to do a quiz. It can check if people got it, wrap things up, get them thinking, spark some engagement, or just lighten the mood a bit. A quiz doesn't have to feel like a test. It can just as easily be a fun pause, a quick energy boost, or a way to start a great conversation. Let's kick things off, shall we?
Okay, so we have kicked our quiz node webinar with a quiz. And okay, before we get started, why are we doing this tiny warm-up quiz for this session? Is it to activate everyone's genius mode? Is it to because all official meetings require at least one question that makes you doubt everything you've ever known, or is it to gently wake up our brain? I believe it's the last one.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. You saw the question. You considered the options and you delivered. That wasn't luck. That was instinct. That was sharp thinking. But now let's start building our own quiz.
Okay, so let's dig into creating our first quiz. So, to create your first quiz, click here and then choose quiz from the node menu. And when you're ready to add or edit your quiz, you can simply click on the quiz node and then click edit. And here you have different setups. So first of all, you have a bar on the top here, setup, questions and results. And the first thing you would need to do is to set up your quiz node, decide colors and general settings for that specific quiz. So here you can say, okay, do you want to shuffle the questions or do you not want to shuffle the questions? And then also how many questions should you provide for the learner? So say you have 20 questions, but you only want to give out 10 of those. And you also have the possibility to show correct or incorrect answers. You can also hide if you don't want to give that, tell that to the learners. Here you can do something really interesting. You can select the theme. So this goes, I'll go over to our dashboard. This goes all the way back to brand kits. So on the left side here, for our enterprise customers, we have now brand kit where you can predefine design colors, fonts and everything for your company, and you can reuse them in the quiz itself. So going back to our story and back to our quiz. So again, here you can select the different themes and you can also tweak colors. You can have like a gradient color as well as images. So here you can add images. So before this webinar, I was thinking, okay, what kind of questions should I put up? And I was thinking, okay, if we have a chance, I can choose whatever I want to. Let's do a dog theme, for example, or I want to provide questions for grooming or cutting dogs' hair, like what kind of scissor, what kind of safety procedures should you have when you are working with that. You can also, if you want to, this is created outside VR, but you can also create different layouts where you kind of set the frame for your questions, and that's also possible. So here you predefine kind of how the design should look. And you can also set what kind of colors should, or what kind of colors should be on the text, and also if there's going to be a dark mode or not. Once I'm happy with the setup, you can now go ahead to questions. So here you can add as many questions as you want to. At the moment, we support multiple choice and sorting order. And so more quiz types will definitely come down the road. And now, let's see, I have a question here. Okay, while grooming your dog at home, you notice they have become restless and pulling away during trimming. What is the safest and most approachable action? So this is maybe very familiar to most of you. It's a regular multiple choice where you add your different answer options. Here you go. And just choose if they're wrong or right. And you can add many different answer options if you want to. On the menu to the right here, you have answer image, meaning you can add images too. I'll show you an example of that in a minute. And you can also make sure if you want to shuffle the answer choices. So they're not set for each time, but they're shuffled. One other cool thing, and I'll show you a few examples very soon, you also have something called generate feedback. So this is our AI feature where if that one is toggled on, AI will provide you some feedback and some guidance if you didn't manage to answer it. So if I got this question wrong, it will be a few lines from AI coming in and say, okay, this wasn't quite right. In this situation, this wouldn't be better to do. As I mentioned, I'll show you very soon how this works. Okay, so now I'm happy with this question. Of course, you can go ahead and add an image if you want to, and also add further questions. We can, of course, go ahead and add a sorting order here. So let's add one here. Put the steps in correct order when trimming a dog's face with scissors. So it could be A, B, yeah, you get the point. Here we go. And here you can also drag the order and oh, I didn't do, here we go. Yeah, this is how it looks like. So here you add a question and you add the different steps and also say, okay, sorting on numbers or letters, or if you don't want that at all. So it's definitely a great, you do definitely have the chance to make it tailored to your needs. Okay, so now I can, if you want to, we can go ahead and preview this. It looks like this. Oh, it's a bit too big, but here you, let me just change it. Let me just change it to this. Why not? Here, while grooming your dog, and then we have the different we have the questions and we have the different answers, and if I click on it you have to submit and then continue on in the story. Okay, here I got some feedback from AI, and you can also then continue to the next question. So it's kind of easy to work with, an easy note to add. One other cool thing that I really like is to set this passing score. This is, in most cases, you will set this to, for example, 80%. Once that is set to 80%, or you can decide to have it on or off. If you have it on, it will be like you will get a branching option here, meaning that if they pass, if they get over 80% right, they will continue on this branch. If they fail, they'll continue on here. And here you can get, okay, you can get specific information based on how they did. And here again, going back to my tip number 3, this is where you get the chance to really give some valuable feedback, some valuable learnings for the learner, where they can really reflect and say, okay, maybe I didn't get it right. What could I do next time better? Does the tool allow a question bank for later use? So this is a great question in the chat here. Thank you. Unfortunately, no. So there is no way of adding a pool of questions where you can. So say again, if I add a new quiz going in here, there's no way for me to find that bank of questions and choose from. So if that's what you meant, then that's a no. But it is possible for the specific quiz to add a lot of different quizzes, so a lot of different questions, and then say, when you shuffle them, say, I want to give 10 questions to the learners out of a pool of 20. So for that specific question, you can have a pool of questions and provide X amount of questions for the learners. But there is no way to kind of set a pool and then decide, okay, which questions should be visible in this quiz. Good with questions. Okay, and we also have a few examples I wanted to show you. Let's see, we have quiz here. This is another quiz where you get questions about different vegetables. I can't play it, so you see how it looks like.
Our customers have many questions about both fruits and vegetables. Therefore, it's important that you become a fruit and vegetable expert.
Okay, so you need to become a fruit and vegetable expert. So here again, this is for your inspiration. So here we have added an image behind, and we have added, for answers, we only have images and not just text. So which of these vegetables should be stored in the refrigerator? I think it's broccoli and carrots. Let's see. Yes, that was correct. Here also we need to sort the order. So let's do, I have actually no clue. Let's do submit this answer. Oh, I got them right. And also here I need to answer. Let's see if it happens if I answer something wrong. It looks like this. And same with the last question, what characterizes a ripe avocado? So it gives a slice. It gives slightly when pressed. It's hard as a potato. It has dark, even colored without large spots, and it smells sweet. So again, let's go for, I'll do it answer not correctly. And also here we get some AI feedback. So here AI is toggled on and they say, okay, nice try. You confused firmness and scent. A ripe avocado should give slightly to gentle pressure and is judged by its feel and even dark skin, not being rocked hard or smelling sweet. So this is really AI magic, I would say. So how?
Ah, come on! Is this?
Oh, it's very, very direct feedback there. If we go to the question itself, this is how it looks. Here we have added an image, quite neutral image. And then we have the different questions. Here is the question about the avocado. And we have toggle generate feedback on. So to give some feedback to the learners. And here you also can set some direction for AI. Say, I want you to focus on A, B, and C. I want you to only talk about this framework. So kind of giving some definitions and some paths for AI to focus on. That's something you can do there as well. And yeah, here's one question as well. The first picture you showed was about the question and answer, the dog image. However, appeared to fill the background. How is it determined? Okay, so good question. I'll go back to the quiz we had. Here we go. So here we have the question itself. Here, so this is the background for the whole quiz, for that specific quiz. And here I'll just remove it. Here you, on the background, on the colors to the left, no, to the right here, you can choose color, gradient, or image. So say I want to have this image. This will be the background image for the whole quiz itself. I can also, for the specific question itself, I can also add an image here. So say I want this dog to appear, and I'll leave it like this and preview it for you. It will become like this. So I'll have a kind of a background image and then have a descriptive thumbnail or image explaining that quiz itself. I think I have a better example. So now I would like to show you a scenario, because I think reflecting on scenarios, what you just learned, is so powerful. Thank you. Always really good to get feedback. I'm always a bit unsure if I answer the questions, but happy to see that was what you were wondering about, Adrian. Okay, so when you have a scenario, I think this is the most powerful thing, when you can look at the scenario and then reflect on what just happened in a kind of step aside and say, okay, this is the topic for the whole story. Now you've seen this specific scenario. Let's go take one step back and kind of reflect on the whole thing. I would like to play this for you so you see a little bit. Okay. Let's see, I can play it from here.
Totally get it. I remember that feeling. Honestly, it's better to ask than to guess. Have you had a chance to check in with Alex yet?
What do you think Patrick should do? Reach out to his manager or wait?
Try to prioritize on his own and hope he's making the right call.
Taking it on yourself can be a good move, but be careful not to get too overwhelmed. Trusting your judgment is great, but checking in might help you avoid mistakes.
And then we jump into a question. So here this is typically a mini scenario or a scenario where you dive straight into the actual problem or the actual thing. So we kind of jump straight into it. We are a fly on the wall, seeing what's going on. And then I think it makes sense to then take one step, okay, and think, okay, how he's new to his job, how should you as a new employee behave or kind of evaluate how it is to be a new employee. So here you're new on the job, what should you prioritize first? So we kind of step outside of that specific scenario, but more talking in general and referring back to our characters. So say maybe understanding expectations. Yeah. And here I've added images from the scenario itself. Here I've used just AI, Google AI, to give me images of the scenario. So here, let's just rearrange them and see. And here again. So what does asking for prioritization support signal in healthy workplace culture? Let's see. Yeah. So I think having these quizzes, kind of taking one step back and reflecting on, okay, what does it mean to be a new in a company, and then also have these thumbnails images referring back to the scenario they just watched. I think it's quite powerful. So if I go kind of behind the scenes here, this is how it looks like in edit mode. Here I have prompted an image as a background image. Then I took inspiration from this location. So I wanted similar kind of style, but maybe a little bit different. So I prompted this. And then for each question, I prompted specific images that resonates with the question itself. So one cool way of doing it. I do have some other examples too, where I played around with AI. Let's see. No. Let's see here. Remember playing around. Yeah, here we go. So this is healthcare hospital. Okay, when caring for patient in hospital after major surgery, which approach best shows good care for both their medical needs and their emotional well-being? So this is the question, and this is how it looks like when it's asked. And here again, I prompted an image with we are characters in that hospital, kind of giving it more that kind of vibe. Okay, where are we? What kind of settings are we talking about? So I think designing the quizzes to be in line with your story, what you are talking about, which segment you're in. I think it's super powerful. Same goes with colors, that they resonates with the company. And I also see a few. I think that's also really cool when you add these custom backgrounds with your logos or brand colors. That's also very efficient or a cool thing to do. Okay, I think time goes fast. Please write in the chat if there's anything else specific you would like me to dig into. I believe we have covered most of what I wanted to cover. Quiz is not the most complex node for sure. I have one other quiz here that I maybe wanted to show you. Yeah, this is again a bit similar. So here we have a scenario with, I'll play a few seconds for you so you see. So Maria and Alex is having a conversation, and he's obviously disagreeing with his
I don't understand how this decision was made. We raised concerns weeks ago, and now I'm the one paying for it.
And then we kind of follow that scenario, and we get some options, and we also get a coach coming in and giving us some feedback.
You lowered the temperature, which helps in the moment, but the frustration didn't really go anywhere.
And then we are prompted with a question that again reflects on the scenario itself. So when I click here, the question looks, the style looks like this. Okay, after this exchange, what is really at stake in the conversation between Maria and Alex? And again, you need to kind of reflect on what you just experienced. And I think this is the value of VR, when you can kind of be a fly on the wall, dialogue training, scenario-based training, but then again, set them out and then reflect on it one more time. Good. I think I have a few more, just one or two more slides I wanted to show you. Let me see. And thank you, Annika, for some kind words. It's always nice to hear it was helpful. Again, these are one out of many webinars to come, so it's always nice to hear that these are useful. That being said, I would like to say that we are working on a quiz 2.0 version where we will connect this AI generated feedback. So the text that pops up, we will connect this with the characters. So you will have speaking characters. So if I don't complete the quiz or the answer, a character will come in and provide me some feedback, all AI generated, where you of course can say, okay, what kind of topics, what kind of feedback should AI focus on? So you do have some control of what AI is saying, but we will of course then connect it with the characters, and this is like true magic, and it's going to be super excited to see the characters come live in our quiz too. And for further questions or any other things you wonder about, please use these two spaces in our community. Ask the community. It's a great place to just ask if you have any questions. No dumb questions. Feel free to just ask. And same goes for the space to the right, product feedback. We're very open to hearing your thoughts. Maybe we most likely we have on our roadmap, we know what's coming, but sometimes this is also very good input for us and stuff we can improve. So very eager to get your input on what you're missing or even what you're liking. Oh, here's one more question. Is AI and the scenarios ever going to be connected? Oh, I'm not sure if I understand. So maybe you're saying that if it gives, yeah, I think I understand now. So if you have a scenario and AI can take that scenario into account once it provides feedback. So if you have a scenario, maybe you have a couple of questions after, and then toggle on AI feedback, AI will take into account the scenario created before. That's what I reckon you are saying. And if, yeah, good. Good question, and something for us to consider for sure. One way to come around it today is to help in that comment or in that field under generate feedback. You have a dedicated space where you can type. There you can give some prompt to AI to focus on the scenario. So kind of giving them the description of the scenario. That might be something to consider today. But good question. I'll note it down and see if that's something we can deliver on in the future for sure. I do see the value here, so good input for sure. Yeah, good questions. Let's round up here. Oh, we have one more question coming up. Maybe I'm happy to answer it. In the meantime, Oh, there we go. Yeah, no worries. In the meantime, as well, just please, if you want to, follow us on LinkedIn and on Instagram. And we are always very happy when you are sharing in our community. It's super, super valuable for us. Okay, I think let's round up here. As I said, these sessions will be recorded and added to the community, so you'll find all of these recordings when after as well. When performing skilled responses and a quiz, what is generated first at the end of the course? Yeah, I leave this goes a bit over to the end node. I think we should have a dedicated session on that too. End node gathers also the skills function, so I think it makes more sense to leave it there. But I'll note down your question, Adrian, and then I can reply back to you in our community as well. Okay, I think I'm wishing everyone a good day, and please reach out to either support or in the community directly if you have any questions. And I thank you for your time. Bye bye, everyone.